Hello friends, welcome back to my channel Patronosaurus Reads. I'm Katie, aka Patronosaurus, and I read. Today I'm going to be doing the Alphabet Soup book tag because Erica from The Broken Spine tagged me in it, which, like, I never thought anyone would even tag me in a video. I thought I would just do them because I thought it would be fun. So thank you, Erica, for thinking of me. You're awesome. I will link Erica's channel down below. This tag has a bunch of prompts that just start with the letter A, so it's like A stands for blank, and it's something that starts with A, and then you pick a book that fits it. So let's just get into it. The first prompt is A is for author. Choose a book whose author's first or last name starts with A. Apparently you get bonus points if it's last name, and double bonus points if their first and last name start with A. And I don't think it's like actual points though. It's just like bragging right internet points. That being said, I did choose an author whose last name starts with A. Tomi Adeyemi, who wrote Children of Blood and Bone. I read this, I think, very soon after it came out. I think the week it came out, I was just like browsing around my library and they had a copy, and so I got it and read it like that week. So that was a little while ago. I don't remember everything from this book, but I do remember I really liked it. I do want to reread it before I read the sequel, which is coming out later this year in December. The next prompt is A is for, well, A, like the letter A. Name the last book you read whose title has the single letter word A in it. That was Misadventures with a Professor by C.R. Simone, which was in my July wrap-up, so I gave more of my thoughts there, but basically it's about this girl who is going on a research trip in England, and she has one night when she first gets there in London, and she's like, yeah, I'm gonna have some fun sexy times. And so she meets a random dude, has fun sexy times, it's great. She gets to where she's doing her like research fellowship thing the next day. Turns out the guy that she's doing her research with is also the same guy that she had the fun sexy times with. If you're interested in seeing my more in-depth thoughts, my wrap-up will be below, so go check that out. The next prompt is A is for angry, a book that made you angry. And I don't usually get super angry at books. Like, I am pretty chill, and I recognize that just because a book isn't for me doesn't mean it's not good for somebody else. But this one book. This book is Freakboy by Kristen Elizabeth Clark. I read it for my young adult literature class when I was in college. And it was like through the School of Education, so it wasn't an English class, it was an education class. And my professor had us like kind of doing rotating book groups where we would read different books and like talk about them with each other, whatever. And most of them were diverse books. And this book was about a teenage boy who is struggling with his gender identity, and he's not sure where he fits in. He thinks he might be trans. And there is a trans female character who also has a perspective, as well as the main character's girlfriend. But the author is a cis woman. And she wrote an introduction about how, I don't remember if she has a son or a daughter, but she has a child who is transgender. And she basically took it upon herself to write the story of trans people. Like, this cisgender woman was taking like this story that isn't hers and writing it, and like just took it upon herself to do that. And that didn't sit well with me. I don't think the representation in that book was very good. I don't remember what year it was written. It wasn't like super recent, but it also wasn't super long ago. Like somewhere in the 2012 to 2015 region, I would say. But I really didn't like it. And there was another girl in my little like book club group who has a book blog. So I think just because these are conversations that happen a lot on BookTube, on Book Twitter, in the book blogger community, like these are things we were thinking about that not other people in our groups were, and we knew that there are better books with better representation that are own voices, and you should always prioritize own voices narratives. I don't think this author had any ill intent. I think that she did write this book because she cares about her child very deeply and wanted to try to write something for their child, but this was not it, fam. And then when we voiced these concerns to our professor was like, so are you saying that your trans students don't deserve stories? And we were like, no, we're saying the opposite. We're saying they deserve a better story than this, because this kind of sucks. Ugh, it's just not good. Like, I think I'm more upset by how my professor reacted to me actually being critical and wanting better things for my students than what she was giving us. Like, I don't think she was doing her research, and I think she was kind of mad that we were doing our research and we knew that there were better things out there. Like, thinking about it again makes me mad, so I'm gonna move on. The next prompt is A is for ah, like screaming. Yay. A book that has 3 or more A's in the title. Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. Has 3 A's in it. The next prompt is A is for Ambivalent, a book that you are still unsure how you feel about it. And for me, that is Turtles All the Way Down by John Green. Well, the whole point of the prompt is that I don't know how I feel about it, so I don't really know what to say. This was John Green's long-awaited follow-up to The Fault in Our Stars, but it's very different from The Fault in Our Stars. But it was really good, but also, like, I didn't love it that much. But there are some parts that really, like, hit different, you know? I don't know. I think I need to reread this with some fresh eyes and really analyze my emotions about it. I think I did give it, like, 4 stars. Maybe 5. But I don't know what it actually deserves. Like, I don't know. I just don't know. The next prompt is A is for Anticipation, a book that you are highly anticipating reading. It doesn't have to be a new release. It can be a backlist title that you haven't read yet, but you're just really excited about. But I am going to be talking about a book that isn't out yet that I'm the most excited about. I'm not going to stop talking about how excited I am about it until I read it, which is Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo, the highly anticipated adult debut of our young adult fantasy queen, Leigh Bardugo. It's about Yale and secret societies and maybe some magic. I'm not totally sure, but I'm into it. So excited. It comes out, I don't know when it comes out. 2 months, maybe? The next prompt is A is for Actually, a book you weren't expecting to like and really did. And this isn't a book I was expecting to, like, actively dislike, but I didn't think I would like it nearly as much as I did. That's No Exit by Taylor Adams. This book follows a young woman. She's a college student named Darby. She is driving home in a snowstorm because her mother's having surgery. She wasn't planning on, like, going home for winter break or whatever, but then she's like, oh, mom's having surgery, gotta go. But because it's a snowstorm, she gets trapped in this rest stop with, like, 4 other people. And when she goes out into the parking lot to try to get better signal on her phone to see how her mom's doing, get a call out, whatever, she sees a little girl in the back of one of the other vehicles. And she realizes that one of the other people at this rest stop is a kidnapper, and so she has to try to figure out who it is. And this is much more of a thriller than a mystery, which I'm recognizing that I like. Like, mysteries I find very slow paced, and I don't like them that much. But thrillers, I'm like, yeah, this is action packed, let's go. So Darby actually figures out who the bad guy is pretty fast. And then it's like this really intense psychological thriller game of cat and mouse for, like, the rest of the book, and I really liked that. Like, I read this book, this is one of the first books this year that I read. I think I read it on, like, January 3rd, and I still think about it pretty frequently. So that says a lot, because I do read so many books that, like, they kind of go in one ear and out the other, even if I really like them. But this one really, really stood out. The next prompt is A is for Affected, a character, book, or writer that you feel is pretentious. And that, my dear friends, is The Great Gatsby. The Great Gatsby. Like, I get it. I get a lot of, like, what it's trying to do and what it's trying to say. But I don't think it's the pinnacle of high literature, American or otherwise. it's, like, maybe not, I don't know. It's just not that good. And everyone thinks it is good, and maybe that's, like, my problem with it is that everyone's attitude towards it is really pretentious. But it's just not that good. The next prompt is, how's it going? A book by a Canadian author. And that's Nice Try Jane Center by Leanne Ohlke, which is super underrated. Just gonna say that right now. If you haven't read this book, and once I describe it, if it sounds interesting to you, I highly encourage you to pick it up because it's super good. Leanne Ohlke is Canadian. I think she lives in Vancouver, but I might be wrong. Hey, where do you live? Haha! She lives, camps, and thinks about her cats in Vancouver. I knew it! This book follows Jane Center, who, she doesn't drop out of high school, but she, like, for some reason doesn't get to go to high school anymore to finish her senior year. So she's just going to take, like, dual credit classes at the community college. So she does that. She signs up for that. And the community college, like, TV station, not TV station, like, web series, whatever, is doing some Big Brother type reality show. So it's a free place for her to live. She gets to move out of her parents' house. And she's on this, like, silly reality TV show. And this book is so good. Oh, it's so good. Trigger warning for mentions of suicide. It's not, and depression. It's not like a mental health book where it's like it's this big thing, but it is part of Jane's life, and it does come up in the book. But I actually really like that it was really seamlessly integrated into the book, but it's not the main focus, and it talks about, like, how you can live your life and be happy and successful even if you have these things in your past. So this book is really good. And it's by a Canadian author, so it works perfectly. The final prompt is A is for Anticlimactic, a book you feel fizzled out at the end, and for me that is Leon the Offbeat by Becky Albertalli. Hey Becky, did you know that falling action is a thing that exists in narrative structures that you should have in your book? 'Cause it's not in this one. Like, literally, it's building up to the big thing, which you have read this, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And then it jumps ahead to, like, 3 months later, and they're just like, yeah, everything got wrapped up super great and easy. What? Like, there was no fallout from anything that happened in the climax. There were no consequences for anyone. Like, this book ended too quickly. The ending wasn't good. It wasn't satisfying. There was a lack of character growth. Meh. Okay, I lied. There is one more prompt, but it's not about a book. It's A is for a bunch of booktubers. Tag some of your booktube friends to do this. I don't have very many booktube friends yet. And people that I do know, I don't know if they do tags a lot or even post super often, but here you go. I'll tag them if you guys want to do it. Go ahead and do it. Have fun. I will tag Melissa from The Bookish Babbler, Ryan from Reading Ryan, Connor Stampanato, and Grace from Bert's Books. So there you go. I will link all of their channels down below. So even if they don't do this tag, I think you should just go follow them because they're all awesome people. Just saying. Okay, that was the Alphabet Soup book tag. That was super fun. Again, thank you, Erica, for tagging me. This was a good time. If you're interested in seeing what I'm up to, all my social media links are down below. Leave a comment, like, and subscribe. That's what YouTubers say. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.